Next up, we have Brandon Moreno versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Moreno's coming in at a negative 175 favorite. Figueiredo coming in at a plus 150. This is going to be interesting. This is the trilogy fight for these guys. So Figueiredo had a draw with Moreno 2 fights ago. Moreno won last time against Figueiredo to win the championship. And now we're going in for the third fight. And if you recall from the last fight, Moreno ended up winning by submission in the third round. And, the first fight that these guys had was great. It was a war. It was like one of those fight of the year candidates, which everybody loved to see. It was surprising that Moreno ended up winning the way that he did, or at least I thought so. The second time that they fought, it seemed like either Moreno, he took it to that next level, or Figueiredo just came into that fight with something missing, not quite 100%. Because if I recall correctly, I think he took that fight, the second fight with Moreno, on like 3 weeks' notice, if I recall correctly. So he may have just been depleted physically and may have gassed out a little bit. Not sure exactly, but both of these fighters, excellent fighters. Moreno's got a 19-5-2 record, with his last loss being in May 2018 by decision. He hasn't lost in his last 7 fights. He has 2 draws, 2 TKOs, 2 decisions, and his last win by decision. And he's the favorite to win. Figueiredo was on a 5-fight win streak when he fought Moreno. Is trained with Henry Cejudo and John Jones for this fight, which has brought up some interesting controversy. I don't even understand all the controversy, because I think some of the controversy comes from Henry Cejudo also trained with Moreno, and so Figueiredo was calling Moreno a traitor, or saying that, calling him bad names, like he was somehow being sneaky by trying to draw secrets out of Henry Cejudo, since Henry had trained with Figueiredo before. I'm not quite sure. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Brandon Moreno and Figueiredo, the first fight was great. I think it was a lot of back and forth. Figueiredo had, the momentum as well. And Moreno just, had that comeback story of, having been from the Ultimate Fighter. I believe he was cut and coming back and working his way all the way up to get a championship, title shot. And Figueiredo, I thought he won that fight, their first one, but the second one definitely left. It was clear Moreno had figured him out, had a different plan of attack, wasn't planning on taking them to, to the final 5 rounds. He didn't want a repeat of, people might think I won, might lost, whatever, or that we tied. It's no, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat him. And it was just, I don't know if you could explain how great he analyzed him, but he just had an answer for everything that Figueiredo did. And Figueiredo, is clearly trying to find a solution to this. Doesn't like the outcome of the first fight, I'm sure. Second outcome, even less. Training with some, Henry Cejudo is has Olympic level wrestling. John Jones has, probably it will be considered by many to be the greatest, UFC fighter of all time. Just going to that next level to be I need to train with better, fighters, bigger fighters, fighters with that top level strength. And training with 2 champions, I think is what he needed to do, because that last fight, whatever he did in preparation for that, it wasn't enough to even be to repeat the same outcome of the first fight. He just somehow did worse. And
yeah, well, if you recall, actually, from the first fight, even though it was ruled a draw, if you remember, there was a point deduction. I think that ended up resulting in that draw. So without that foul point deduction, the judges did say he won, except the referee took a point away. So this is almost a classic trilogy fight, 1-1, except for the draw because of the point deduction.
No, for sure. And Moreno, has, hopefully he's able to maintain the level of fame he's gotten. He has been all over the place since he won since that close result the first time. And since he won, he's, more famous and more, well known, recognized, and it'll be interesting to see how he's managed that as well. He's definitely one of the most famous, Mexican fighters at the moment in any sport, boxing, MMA. Getting shout outs from top fighters from all organizations. And, he's definitely earned it. I would like to see him keep going, keep winning, and, keep inspiring, hopefully, a next generation of Mexican fighters, because it's been a while since we had a Roger Huerta or a Cain Velasquez. And it's just be great to see it continue.
Yeah, and Moreno's just seems like such a nice
like
guy.
A normal guy.
Likable guy. Yeah, Figueiredo's been going, the heel route, bad guy route, it almost seems like. So he's like the guy you want to see lose because of some of the things that he's said. But yeah, it's so crazy to go from being cut in the UFC to, a few years later, work your way, back through the ranks and become UFC champion. Yeah, incredibly inspiring story for sure. So I think Moreno is going to come out on top again, even though I do expect Figueiredo to bring a better game than he did in his last fight. I think the odds makers do have it right. I do think Moreno is going to pull it out again.
I got to go with the Mexican guy as well.